Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we speak right now, the United Nations General Assembly 80th session is currently underway and it's happening at the United Nations headquarters in the New York City in the United States. As you may know or you may not, the elections for the next Secretary General of the United Nations is set to take place next year, and the Kenyan President William Ruto will be a key player in the said elections. As we speak, Kenya is preparing to field a candidate for the United Nations 10th Secretary General, something that President William Ruto is torn in between two candidates. The selection process for the United Nations Secretary General is underway, with former Chilean President Michael Bachelet emerging as the latest entrant in the race. Reports suggest that Kenya is also positioning itself for the role. Although former President Uhuru Kenyatta is regarded as a highly qualified contender with a realistic chance of securing the position, there is growing speculation within RUTO Circle that Raila Odinga has a certificate that he currently is also viable for the said United Nations Secretary General as the 10th Secretary General of the United Nations. Now, here, I have said that President William Ruto is torn between two candidates. His current regime is currently preparing for the 2027 general election in Kenya. As of recently, you all heard the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga make it clear that his party, the ODM party, will field a candidate come the year 2027 and it won't be backing William Ruto for the 2027 general election. A move that made us dig deep to find the reason why Raila Odinga has openly declared that his party will be on the ballot box come the year 2027. Now, here is the real deal. Raila Odinga was supposed to exit the Kenyan politics in April this year. That is after if he had won the African Union chairmanship. But he lost the said position. Now, another opening is coming up in the 26th, next year, which is in the year 2026, where the United Nations Secretary General will be voted in. And Kenya is currently in the play to have it table one of its own for the position of the United Nations Secretary General. If one of Kenyan leaders is selected, it might either be Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta or Raila Odinga. But looking at the portfolios, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is the most qualified candidate. But looking at the dynamics of the Kenyan politics, William Ruto is torn between these two people. He has currently formulated a good relationship between him and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And also, he cracked a deal with Raila Odinga through the memorandum of understanding on ODM providing experts that are currently working with William Ruto under William Ruto's current regime. Now the question is, will William Ruto field Raila Odinga to make sure that if Raila Odinga gets the chance to become the United Nations Secretary General, that means Raila Odinga, will exit the Kenyan politics completely and now he will have a bigger role in the international politics. But Raila Odinga does not have the great chance that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta might have, because Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta's portfolio is decorated with him being the lead in the Congo negotiation for the peacekeeping mission in Congo. So William Ruto will have to actually make his decision right now. And Raila Odinga is playing his cards. He is testing the waters to see if William Ruto will actually pick Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta or we will pick him. Now, fast forward to what this means in the international politics. Uh, the world currently has entered to one of the most perilous period since the 1945 war. Wars in Ukraine, Gaza, and Sudan are only the most visible flashpoints of a deeper trend. We have the highest number, over 100, of active state conflicts since 1946. Violence and fragmentation is accelerating. The displaced persons is at an all-time high, totaling more than 123 million. Meanwhile, humanity faces climate breakdown, biodiversity collapse, pandemic risk, and entrenched inequality. At the very moment when international collaboration and fundamental rules and principles are most needed, the multilateral system is under siege. Funding cuts from the United States and Europe, while other countries are not stepping into this void, are undermining the United Nations. Russia and other regional powers openly contest UN values and norms. UN peacekeeping is being sidelined. Now, the context makes the election of the UN's 10th Secretary General in 2026 for the 2027 to 2032 term one of the most consequential in its history. The process soon begins formally. During the opening of the new General Assembly, whether the Secretary General becomes a weak follower of decline or a courageous catalyst for the reform will determine the future of multilateralism itself. Now, selecting of the UN boss. The procedure is simple. Governments lobby and the Security Council recommends a name of the Secretary Assembly. I mean, a name to the Secretary Assembly, which votes and decides. To get there, the Council conducts secret straw polls to test support. In that process, any of the 5 permanent members, Britain, China, France, Russia, or the US, can vote. So the real powers rest with the deeply divided council, which in September 2026 will be made up of the P5 plus 5 elected countries heading into their second term: Denmark, Greece, Pakistan, Panama, and Somalia. Algeria, Guyana, Sierra Leone, Slovenia, and South Korea all end their term on December 31st. As of January 1st, 2026, the new elected members are Bahrain, Colombia, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Latvia, and Liberia. By unwritten convention, the Secretary General post rotates by region. After Guterres' 2 terms from the Western Europe bloc, it is now the turn of Latin America, the Caribbean, and Africa. Yet even the informal agreement could be contested, as Africa could submit a candidate and Eastern Europe emphasizes that it has never held the UN leader post. Now, Africa is currently in to be incorporated in fielding candidates for the United Nations Secretary General. And Kenya, being a key player, currently having been named as a major non-NATO ally back in June 2024, it is time for Kenya to field a candidate. Now, if Kenya is to field a candidate, it's either Raila Amolo Odinga or Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Knowing Raila Amolo Odinga has not held the role as the President of the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta portfolio is more decorated than Raila's. Now, it's upon William Ruto, who is currently torn between a dilemma, to make the decision to either field Raila Amolo Odinga or to field Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Now, if he fields Raila Amolo Odinga, the politics of the Republic of Kenya and the people of the Luo Nyanza region and the supporters of Raila Amolo Odinga will actually back William Ruto's presidency for the second term come the year 2027. If he fields Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta for the United Nations Secretary General, that means he has bought the goodwill of the people of the Mount Kenya region. And if Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta will make the decision to support William Ruto come the year 2027, then he will campaign for William Ruto in the Mount Kenya region. Now, it's upon time William Ruto to make a decision between his two brothers who are currently working with him, Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga. Who do you think is best fit for the position of the United Nations Secretary General? Leave a comment on the comment section. See you in our next video. Don't you forget to subscribe. This is the Kenyan Daily Report.